The 19th typing has finally been released along with the Indigo Disc DLC. Now, officially, this terrestrialization mechanic is known as the Stellar type or the Stellar Tera, and today we are going to be breaking down exactly what this mechanic does, along with my thoughts on how it will affect the competitive scene. So we're not going to waste time. We're going to jump immediately into things right now as to what it is, and there are 3 main points. We're going to start with number 1. Number 1, this will not change your Pokemon's typing like the other Tera types in the game. Like normally I would take my potential Primarina here, for example. I would have the ability to change it to Tera Grass, Tera Fairy, Tera Flying, etc. for all the 18 typings, and I could pick one. Now, however, that does not happen with this Stellar typing. What happens is I remain the same typing. So if my Primarina has the Stellar Tera and I terrestrialize to be Stellar, I am going to remain a Water Fairy type. Likewise with the Blaziken, it will remain a Fire Fighting type. Electivire will remain that base Electric type. So forth and so forth. They do not change their typings at all. Point number 2. Point number 2 is a little bit more dicey or a little bit more difficult to understand than that first one. And you get 1 boost in each type of move. So we're going to lay this out in an example for you. We're going to go with Scald on the Primarina, Moonblast on our Primarina, along with Thunderbolt for right now. I'll just use Thunder. It's the same concept. Okay, so to explain this the best way possible is I have a Primarina with the Stellar Tera type. I now terrestrialize. I am now a Stellar type. I've got that cool little crown with all the logo, with all the typing icons floating around my head right now. You know, that's what just happened. I now click Scald. First turn with the Stellar Tera, my Scald is going to get the 1.5 times boost. The next turn, I'm going to click Moonblast. I'm going to get the 1.5 times boost. The following turn, I'm going to click Thunder. I'm going to get that 1.5 times Tera boost. For every single typing in the game, if it was Ice Beam, if it was Energy Ball, all that stuff will get boosted. The catch is it only works once per typing. So if I click Scald on my first turn of Stellar Tera, the second time I click Scald or any other water move, it will no longer get the boost. So I click Scald the first time, it's going to get that boost, got the 1.5 times, and I'm going to send it. The second time I go and attack, if I want to say, let's say Hydro Cannon, because for the sake of having another water move, so I click Scald the first time. Next time I want to click Hydro Cannon. The Hydro Cannon will not have the boost because I wasted my 1 boost of my Water type move on the Scald earlier on that first turn that I had Stellar Tera. However, I click Scald on turn 1. Now my Water type moves no longer get the boost, but I do now have Moonblast and Thunder available to me that I haven't wasted the boost of that typing yet. So I could still get the boost for my Moonblast and I can still get the boost for my Thunder. Right, you basically get 1 boost per type per battle. So I walk into battle number 1, I click Scald, I get the boost. Second turn in that battle and I click Hydro Cannon, I'm not going to get the Tera boost on the Hydro Cannon. However, if we go to like a game 2 or a game 3 or a completely separate game entirely, and I go up and I reset my Tera starts off again, then I now get the boost on my water moves again because the battle has been reset. Now, one slight change that we're going to talk about, which is point number 3, is Tera Blast. What does the Stellar typing do to Tera Blast? Tera Blast will remain a normal type move. With Tera Blast remaining a normal type move, it actually becomes super effective on all opposing Pokemon that have terrestrialized themselves. So if I have a Blaziken and I am staring down, let's just say Electivire because I put it in my builder already, and I click I Stellar Tera and I click Tera Blast. If the Electivire doesn't Tera, it's just a normal old Tera Blast. I'll get the 1.5 boost the first time with it because of the Tera type on my normal boost, which we just went over in point 2. But now the following turn, let's say this Electivire terrestrializes. It doesn't matter what typing. We'll just say water, for example. Blaziken's Tera Blast now becomes super effective because it is a Stellar typing Tera Blast going into an Electivire. And because the Electivire Tera'd, it is now super effective, is the way I look at that. Right? That's the way I break that down. I think I messed up earlier when I said it remains a normal move. It actually becomes a Stellar type move, which is just neutral into everything unless they Tera. It is neutral into everything unless they Tera. If they Tera, it becomes super effective into every Tera type. I believe I got that right. I'm happy I corrected myself there. But there is a caveat to this, and the caveat to this is that after you click the Tera Blast into a already Tera Pokemon, it does result in a -1 attack and special attack drop, which is a little unfortunate, but that is the basis of this new Stellar type. Now, really quickly, before I jump into my thoughts, the 3 points: you are going to not change your original typing. You are going to get a boost, but only once for each type of move that you have. So like I said, if you click Scald with your first turn of Stellar Tera, the next turn Scald or any other water move will not be boosted, but your other moves will still be boosted that one time until you use a move of that type. And point 3 is Tera Blast now becomes super effective on opposing Tera types. Now, simply put, is this mechanic going to be seen in competitive play? Simply put, this Pokemon mechanic, this 19th Tera type, in my opinion, is not so stellar. This is very, very niche pick. I don't think you are going to see this whole Tera type thing be utilized very often. You're going to see a few niche picks. I'll talk really, really briefly about that in a bit, but it's just, in my opinion, not good enough, especially in the VGC scene, which is where all of my experience comes from. It's one of those ones where, for me personally, I like playing defensive. If I'm going to change my Primarina's type, I'm probably going to try and resist an electric move coming my way. Or maybe I'll go on the offensive like the Fluttermanes used to, and they'd go Tera Fairy, and they'd just send Moonblast constantly, right? That is the way that I play this game. That's the way I think Tera needs to be played. I don't think Stellar Tera is going to have that niche. Mainly because, like I said, you don't get that defensively, right? Even on the offensive Tera in Fluttermane, you are removing the neutrality to those dark type moves. So technically, it could also be used defensive as well. Obviously, it's for offensive purposes, but you can use it defensively. Same with my Shenpows. You know, you'd go Tera Ghost, right? If I Tera Ghost to Shenpao, I'm using that defensively. I can't do that with the Stellar Tera type, right? It doesn't give me any additional protection or anything like that, which, in my opinion, because of that, takes that element out of the game where I could actually have that element in the game, right? If I'm going up against the Shenpao and it's Tera Dark type, I have no problems being able to, I can just click Fake Out into it. But if it's Tera Ghost, I can't really safely do that, because now I have to make that call on whether or not they're going to Tera or not. Obviously, there's a little bit more in-depth than that scenario itself, but similar with the Stellar Tera now, if I see that you are a Stellar Tera on your Primarina, let's just say, I can walk in and click Fake Out. I don't care that you're going to Tera. I can walk in and click Wild Charge because I know you're not going to randomly Tera Dragon, because your Stellar Tera, you are going to remain that water type. I'm not like potentially flipping that typing chart like you normally would with a normal defensive Tera. And because of that, I feel like you're just not going to see it outside of niche usage. And my biggest point that I can say, and the biggest niche that I can possibly see, and probably one of the very few niches I see this being used on, is Glass Cannons, Hyper Offense Pokemon that are really only going to get 1 or 2 attacks off at the most anyways before they go down. And this is, in my opinion, one of the only usage for them. I could almost see it on a Dragapult, but I still don't even know if I like it on the Dragapult. Like Dragapult, I think Porygon Z, I believe Marcos or Moxie Boosted was talking about as well. I think that's a really cool niche pick for this terrestrialization. And just because Porygon Z, it doesn't have the defensive stats. You know, 85, 70, 75. You don't expect Porygon Z to be on the field for maybe 1 or 2 more turns. You know, you also get the adaptability boost, which is really, really cool. And then you can just, you know, click Thunderbolt. You can click Ice Beam, right? And then by the time you've clicked Thunderbolt and Ice Beam, and then you're probably you're probably going to run Tera Blast on Porygon Z. I have zero reason why you wouldn't. I think this move would be incredible on a Porygon Z, but that's for another video. Right? And by the time you've clicked these 3 moves, you've either taken out 3 Pokemon on your other side of the field, you don't really need the boost anymore, or you've lost your Porygon Z and it's gone and you don't need your boost anymore anyways. But you get that boost and that additional boost on top of these moves when you go for that Stellar Tera, you know, on those hyper offensive pieces. I think that's where this Tera typing becomes that niche. Right? That, in my opinion, is where you're going to see it here. But with that, guys, that is all you need to know about the stellar Tera typing. That is all we know about the stellar Tera typing at the moment. I'd imagine that's everything. I can't see anything new popping up with it. But with that, thank you all so much for watching the video. If you guys did enjoy this video at any point in time, feel free to leave a like and subscribe. It really does help out the channel, and of course, I do appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts on the DLC. Are you guys enjoying your playthrough? Because for me personally, I ran around 20 minutes with that in the synchronized in the synchro mode there with and I just ran around as a Sableye for like at least 20 minutes, if not more than that. Like it made me more happy than it really deserved to. But if you guys enjoyed the DLC, let me know. If you didn't enjoy the DLC, let me know. Feel free to leave a comment. Let me know what you think of the new stellar Tera typing. Yell at me, say, hey, Ryan, you're wrong. This Tera typing is going to indeed be stellar. But I'm going to stop rambling now. That was a really bad play on words, guys. I am sorry you guys had to sit here and listen to me talk about that joke for the last 2 seconds. But you know what? Erase it from your mind. I didn't just say it. I'm going to stop rambling. Thank you all so much for checking out the video, and I'll catch you all in a future video.